An HOA tried to foreclose on a veteran's home over just $800 in unpaid dues, but they never expected the entire community to step in. David Carter is a retired Army veteran who served 2 tours overseas. After years of service, he returned home and bought a modest house in a quiet suburban neighborhood, hoping for something simple: peace, stability, and a place that was truly his. Living on a fixed income, David carefully planned every dollar. His life wasn't extravagant, but it was steady. Then came a difficult year. Unexpected medical bills began stacking up: prescriptions, follow-up appointments, and rising utility costs. Trying to keep up with everything, David fell behind on his HOA dues. The amount wasn't massive. It wasn't thousands of dollars. It was just under $800. He fully intended to catch up once his next benefits payment arrived. Instead of a reminder notice or a warning call, he received a foreclosure letter. According to the HOA board, the unpaid balance had triggered legal action. Late fees were added, attorney costs were applied, administrative penalties followed. In a short amount of time, the original $800 ballooned into several $1,000s. What could have been handled with a conversation was now threatening to cost him his home. David was stunned. He had always kept his lawn trimmed, his house maintained, and never caused issues in the neighborhood. Now, he was facing the possibility of losing the very home he had worked his entire life to afford. Everything changed when a neighbor noticed the legal notice taped to his front door. Questions started circulating. How could an HOA foreclose over $800? Why wasn't there a payment plan? Why jump straight to lawyers? By the time the next HOA meeting arrived, the room was packed. Homeowners who had never attended a meeting before filled every seat. The tension was thick. Residents demanded answers. Some questioned the board's priorities. Others openly criticized the lack of communication and compassion. When David finally stood up to speak, the room went quiet. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't attack anyone. He simply explained that he had every intention of paying the $800. He just needed a little time. Then something remarkable happened. One neighbor stood and offered $100. Another offered $50. Someone else pledged more. Within minutes, residents were pulling out cash and sending digital payments. Right there in the meeting, they raised enough to cover the original dues and the added legal fees. Faced with overwhelming community pressure and growing local attention, the HOA board voted to halt the foreclosure immediately. David kept his home, but the impact didn't stop there. The neighborhood organized a petition demanding clearer hardship policies and reasonable payment plans before legal action could begin. Attendance at meetings increased. Transparency improved. The HOA revised its enforcement procedures to include mandatory grace periods. What began as an attempt to quietly remove one homeowner became a powerful reminder that a neighborhood isn't just about regulations and dues. It's about people, and sometimes the strongest force